In 8th grade, we're doing the argument unit, and today behind me, the students will be debating. One important aspect of the debates is to follow a protocol. So we have kind of mixed and matched many different types of protocols that we've seen different schools do, and we made one that is pretty appropriate for our school. The debates should take about 20-25 minutes each.
Opening statement, 1 minute and 30 seconds, starting now.
Did you know that according to the Ohio State University, approximately 10,000 innocent people are convicted of a crime each year? We are here to debate whether or not there should be more police regulations in the United States. In regards to the regulation of police departments in the United States, I will argue that there should be more regulation of police departments in the United States because officers abuse their powers, exhibit racial discrimination, and are unconstitutional.
Team B, opening statement. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds, starting now.
You're on your way home, walking the same path you always take when all of a sudden a squad of police cars are rushing by, heading into dangerous territory, all of them knowing they might not make it out alive. The danger and stress of being a cop isn't for everyone, yet knowing all this, they still go out and do one of the most dangerous jobs in the country. Yet the government is thinking of adding more restrictions and regulations toward police officers. With this change, officers are going to be a lot more hesitant, and that could affect them and the way they do their job negatively. The debate today is about police regulation. In regards to police regulation, I believe that there should be less regulation for police, because police risk their lives countless times doing their jobs. Less people are joining the police force, and the police are more hesitant in entering intense situations due to the increase in regulation.
Team B, speak 1 minute, evidence and reasoning. Minute 30.
According to ABC News, from the nation's largest police force in New York City to tiny departments with only 5 officers, far fewer people are looking to join the force than in years past, and departments of all sizes are being forced to rethink how they fill their ranks. You can get shot at for $40,000 or be home with your family for $60,000, said Seattle police recruiter Jim Ritter. According to The Economist, the Los Angeles Police Department was short of nearly 100 officers as of mid-December, only 1% of its total workforce, but still enough to be felt on the ground, says Captain Alan Hamilton, who runs recruitment for the department. This means that over the years, your local police officer that protects you and is supposed to be there in your time of need won't show up due to all the backlash that they have been getting. This matters because would you really want to have a job that makes everyone hate you? I thought not. If we continue to add regulations to law enforcement jobs, then police won't be able to do their jobs to the best of their ability because there will be no one to do it.
Team A, evidence and reasoning number 1, 1 minute 30.
According to MiamiHerald.com, a woman was pulled over for having a broken taillight and ended up being unnecessarily strip searched in public, and the officer even searched her anal cavity. According to the Washington Post, there were nearly 1,000 fatal shootings by police officers in 2015. 96% of police officers are not prosecuted for shooting people. Referring to the Freddie Gray case, which was a shooting of a black male who did not resist arrest or use force, Baltimore State Attorney General Marilyn Mosby said it was, quote, agonizing that 3 of the 6 officers charged had already been acquitted. This evidence proves that police officers are abusing their power and are humiliating, hurting, and even killing individuals. This is extremely important because our police officers that are supposed to protect our country are actually harming it. The fact that these police officers are rarely prosecuted essentially puts them above the law and gives them the right to kill innocent people.
Team A, evidence or reasoning number 2, 1 minute 30.
According to a study by the University of California, the probability of an unarmed black person being shot by the police is about 3.49 times the probability of a white unarmed person getting shot. Also, according to NPR.org, In Minnesota, a black male was shot after he got pulled over for a broken taillight. When he was asked to get his identification, he notified the officer that he had a handgun because he legally carried it and it was a concealed weapon. While reaching to get his identification, he was shot, and his girlfriend recorded from the moment on with the girlfriend's 4-year-old daughter witnessing the shooting. This directly shows that the police are using their own racial bias to decide whether or not to end someone's life. This matters because our country is trying to move away from when we discriminated against people because of their race. Is it me again?
Evidence and reasoning number 2, 1 minute 30.
According to New York Times, August 9th, Officer Darren Wilson shot Ferguson Monroe resident Michael Brown after he resisted arrest multiple times. He had the most intense, aggressive face I've ever seen on a person, Wilson said. The unarmed 18-year-old teen charged Wilson even after he had shot him several times. Wilson fired a couple more times, but Brown kept rushing toward him. Police who are knowledgeable and trained on how to suppress a suspect should be able to use the amount of force that they know is necessary without public shaming from uneducated people expressing their opinions. The FBI Director James B. Comey said on Friday that the additional scrutiny and criticism of a police officer in the wake of highly publicized episodes of a police brutality may have led to an increase in violent crime in some cities as officers have become less aggressive. This means that police don't want to have negative publicity, and so they're becoming less aggressive to avoid it. This matters because there will be more crime and less people being punished because the police will be less aggressive when entering intense situations.
Team B, speaker 1 or speaker whatever. Number 3, evidence and reasoning, 1 minute 30.
According to statistics collected by the FBI, 86 law enforcement officers were killed in line-of-duty incidents in 2015. Of these, 41 law enforcement officers died as a result of felonious acts, and 45 officers died in accidents. In addition, 50,212 officers were victims of line-of-duty assaults. In 2015, of the 50,212 officers assaulted while performing their duties, 28.4% were injured. A new analysis released on Thursday morning by the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund shows that 135 officers died on the job in 2016, the highest in 5 years. This means that your husband or wife or child, who every day goes out and risks their lives for others, and one simple mistake could cost them their lives. This matters because more police are dying because the regulations are preventing the police from doing their best on the job. If police continue to hesitate when in life or death situations because they know if they don't handle the situation in the best way possible, police backlash could potentially land the officer with no job.
10 seconds. Oh, never mind. Team A, evidence and reasoning, 1 minute 30.
According to a report by the Justice Department on the Chicago Police Department, Black and Latino residents testified about illegal stops and searches, excessive uses of forces, and unjustified killing of Chicago residents by the police officers. According to Wall Street Journal, the Justice Department did an investigation on the Baltimore Police Department and found that they have a pattern of making unconstitutional stops, searches, and arrests. This evidence shows that the United States Justice Department classified 2 police departments from big cities being as unconstitutional. This is important because it is becoming a huge problem in the United States, which is causing a war between police and the Americans.
You have 4 minutes to prepare for your crossfire.
Nice. Good job. All right, so you guys have 4 minutes to prepare for your crossfire. You guys have 4 minutes to fill in your box. Yes? All right. Good job. We have battery issues? I have battery issues in the middle of the debate? Megan?
Team B starts the crossfire. You have 2 minutes and 30, and Team A. Alright, go.
Our counterclaim is that my opponent might say that increasing police regulation will keep officers in line. More regulation will lead to less police involvement in your neighborhood, which means less protecting your kids. Now, my opponent said something about how my opponent said that during the criminal notified the officer that they had a handgun, then reached into his pocket for his license and registration. But the officer shoot the driver, I guess you could say. Anyway, what we don't know, though, the fact is, if you alert the officer that you have a handgun, then what's the officer supposed to do? Just sit there and pretend that he's not going to get shot? Yes.
I think that the man in the car who said he had a handgun, he notified the officer that he had a handgun so that the officer would know that he was not going to shoot him, and if he saw a gun, to not be scared.
Yes, because when you see a gun, you're not scared, guys. Also, from the Slate.com, it says that hours after a sniper gunned down the 5 law enforcement officers in Dallas, claiming, according to the police, that he wanted to kill white people, especially white officers. No one was crowing louder than David Book. I warned all of you. Sorry to say is now happening. Okay, so basically what this is talking about is the fact that if you're in a car and there's a handgun coming at you, but he alerts you of it, you're like, oh, there's a handgun. You're going to be scared, aren't you? You're going to be prepared. You're going to be worried. And if he pulls it out, what are you going to do? Just stand there? Be like, oh, it's nothing. No, it is something. Is that it? Am I done?
Tell me, you said that's that, huh?
Yeah.
Crowd control.
Team A's crossfire. You have 2 minutes and 30 to speak to Team B.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. My opponent claims that police have a difficult enough job as it is. However, I would like to tell you a story. A 16-year-old girl refused to leave school after she was found having a cell phone. When she left the school, she was hit with a baton and shocked with a taser. Do you really think that this 16-year-old girl, who simply did not leave school because she had a cell phone, was really going to be hurting the officer? Yes?
What evidence says that you can't leave school with a cell phone? Are you sure that's credible? That you
Yes,
can't leave school without a cell phone? What's that mean?
She had a cell phone, so they sent her home from school, but she refused to leave, so they got security, which is the police, and then the police hit her with the baton and stuff. And I'm just trying to say that that they were not risking their lives in that situation, that the girl was not going to do anything, yet they still chose to hurt her. And while I agree with my opponent that police have a difficult job, if the other team is going to claim that that's true, they must also acknowledge that being a minority individual, such as Black or Latino, which Black and Latinos have been proven to be shot more than white individuals, then that makes life harder for them. So just because you're a police officer, it could be very well compared to being Black or Latino. Yes.
If you're a human, that means you have an arm, a leg, and you can throw something or punch something. So don't say I don't think you can say that she was defenseless, because she isn't defenseless. Any girl knows how to punch. It's not that difficult.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, not everybody has enough strength to punch somebody and hurt them. So.
But you still have the ability to punch. That's not something physically impossible.
But I could punch like that and not.
Not you, big crowd.
Oh,
You guys.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Good job.
Team B, you have closing remarks. You have 30.
Let me remind the audience that while I love your passion for the subject, you are to keep quiet. Thank you.
Gracias por decirlo. It was
As we said, in regards to police regulations, we believe that there should be less regulations for police because police risk their lives countless times doing their job. Less people are joining the police force, and police are more hesitant in entering intense situations due to the increase of regulations. Over the years, police have been getting a bad name. Your neighbor, you have known for 10 years and even helped him shovel his driveway, starts to switch to the other side of the street when he sees you walking by. To be an officer takes courage and strength. If we continue to add regulations to officers, we are taking an already stressful and difficult job and making it worse. All of this points to the conclusion that police are less likely to stay in line if there are more regulations.
Team A, you have a minute 30 to say your closing remarks.
In conclusion, we have argued that there should be more regulation of police departments in the United States because officers abuse their power, exhibit racial discrimination, and are unconstitutional. There are a variety of opinions concerning police regulation in the United States, but we believe that change has to happen. America is a democracy where the people have a say with what goes on in the government. We have shown you evidence of how the population of America is suffering at the hands of the police. This cannot continue.
Thank you. Oh, you weren't clapping for me? Thank you. All right, good job, groups. One more applause for the ladies. All right, very good debate. Now, audience, listen. I want you guys to judge them on the merits of their arguments, not on what you believe to be your personal opinion on the issue. Okay? I want you to judge them on who you think presented a better logical argument. So try to be a judge in the sense that you're not putting your own personal feelings into it. I know that's not easy, especially with this topic, but try. At the bottom of the sheet, now is your time to pick a winner. While you guys are picking the winner, you're going to then turn that sheet, make sure your name's on it, turn that sheet into Megan in the next, 45 seconds to a minute.